Morning all, here we are. It's a lovely Friday morning, sunny, not that warm, but I'm warm in my house. As you can see, I'm not exactly wearing a lot of clothes. I'm in my undies, and yeah, it's another makeup video. In fact, I may well delete the other two and just do this one, but we'll see. Because basically I've made a few little changes, which I'm trying out partly today, and I've tried out the last few times I've dressed. Anyway, we start from the beginning, and that's more or less where I am now. I've just started putting on foundation. Now, me being a cheapskate girl, pan stick, Max Factor, get as cheap as I can. Not that X Factor stuff which you can get, which is like a copy of it, because it's not so good. I don't always go for brand stuff because I don't always believe in going for brand stuff, but there are times when it makes sense, and X Factor pan stick is a good price, does well for me, and not advertising or anything, it's what I use because I have to watch the pennies. I didn't watch the pennies, I don't buy so many dresses and skirts and things. So, you know, you have to watch the pennies. Even when I get back to work, which shouldn't be much longer now, I no longer have the distinct pleasure of sitting here, nearly 9:45 it is actually, late for me even, on a Friday morning, putting my face on. I'm still going to have to watch the pennies because I always have had to. Anyway, what we do is we have two shades. I use deep olive, that's it, that's what it's called, deep olive on my face, and I use fair on my neck, which I think works fairly well. Oh, that's a bit of a pun, isn't it? I think I missed a very slight bit of something there, but never mind, I'll go with it. Because like I say, I think it works well. I did used to use one all over, but fair made me look really pale. But if I use deep olive on my neck, it ran look sort of even darker than it is. It's always hard to know what to do. This is why I would love to go somewhere and be properly done, by which I mean professional makeup, obviously. Anyway, what I do is I put that on, and then I'm getting bags under my eyes. I had to go early yesterday to the hospital, but it's all sort of good as far as I can tell. They can't tell you everything obviously, but it seems I am well on the road to being fit enough for my little old job at 3 hours a day. Not much more than that I don't expect, but you never know, who knows, perhaps I'll be even better this time, who knows. I'll go to something like that because I might have dealt with my heart, but there are still problems with the ME and everything. Not too bad, thank goodness, otherwise I probably wouldn't even be doing this, I'd be in bed still, but whatever. Not as bad as some, thank goodness. Carry on. Right, once I've done meat foundation, I get on a translucent powder. This is Laval. Basically it was the cheapest I could get. So like I say, often I go for cheap things. I don't actually go for Max Factor for everything. Max Factor for everything, because this is cheap and it works just as well. So I get my little brush. Ooh, gosh, I'm at the cloud today. And I brush on some of my lovely powder. Try not to go too mad and try and be sort of gentle and sort of dab it in, because I always try and dab on the foundations and powder as much as I can, because I think it works better. Others may disagree. Like I say, this is not a guide, or like I said on the last one, this is not a guide as such. It's not saying this is how you should do it, this is saying this is how I do it. Okay? Hints and tips always appreciated, of course. Right, When I've done that, what I do next is, where are we? I get through a fair bit of tissue, but only go cheap stuff because that's all you need. Very gently again. Go over and remove the excess. And hopefully sort of make a better surface. Not being blessed with a nice downy girly skin, we have to do the best we can, don't we? I do. Others do better, but with a lot more effort. Right. Next, as before, just in case I leave those up, which I probably will, don't know, we'll see. I have eyeliner. No real change on this. I like these propellant ones. I tried liquid ones, I tried other ones, pencils, whatever, ordinary pencils, and I just had trouble with them. So I found these are best for me. I tend to start in the middle of my lower eyelid. Try and get as near me, I'm saying literally, my lashes as I can, but I just think it's quite as close as I want to. But I do my best. There we go, thin line as possible, one above, one below, but I will start near my nose for that. Not quite sure why, because I really should start on the inside if it works better, but I tend to not always do what I mean to do. Anyway, there we go, not too bad, and a little tweak of the wing on the outside. I try and keep it sort of not too much, but just enough, but there again, it's not always easy. We do what we can. Interestingly enough, going to the hospital yesterday, lots of women, I hardly noticed makeup on any of them, but I suppose that's usual, isn't it? You probably either use very little. Look, my sister apparently mostly just uses a little foundation in the morning. Although I'm not at the stage of girly talks to my sister about makeup yet, because if she knows about this, it's not because I've told her. Not because I've told her. As far as I'm concerned, my family don't need to know until my dear mother has passed on, because she would find it very hard to deal with, and I ain't going to push it on her when she's over 90, bless her. She does not disown me, I think. She loves the kids, but I do think the concept of finding that she had a daughter instead of a son as such might be a little difficult for her to take in. Well, she's all there, don't you worry. She's a very sharp lady. In fact, I can't believe she hasn't noticed odd signs like no hair on my forearms and the odd occasional trace of makeup maybe when I've gone over there after I've dressed earlier in the day. But I'm not going to state it, because I just don't want her upset the old girl. Right, so eyeliner done. I should have got my stuff out really at the start, John. I'm not very professional, but then I'm not professional, am I? Not as such. I'm an amateur. And just in case, the definition of amateur is somebody who does something for the joy of it. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody who does something badly. It just means somebody who does something because they love to do it. So I don't mind being called an amateur, being of a moderately literal turn of mind. I don't mind being called an amateur. Now, I have never tried false eyelashes. I have some. I lost them again there. No. I have some, you see, cheeky ones. Cheeky girl, cheeky ones. But I'm not sure how much point to that really. It's just a bit too much because I don't really go for the immaculately made up drag queen look. You know, I sidetracked, didn't I? Like I do, but carry on. Like I said, I was at the hospital yesterday, I hardly see any women wearing makeup that I noticed, and I do tend to look a little bit. There was one particular one though, and actually I think she was Eastern European, because she had some bloke with her and he was talking away in whatever language it was. I'm not good at working this stuff out. I don't think it was Polish, I didn't sound Polish, it sounded more sort of like Ukraine or something. Anyway, and she had really pale makeup on, and several other things too. She was really striking, but I'm not sure in a good way. It was actually talking sort of Eastern European-ish. It was more of a Russian doll look. Really pale, really not at all anything but saying, look at me. I think she probably would have been quite lovely without it actually, but each to their own, darlings, each to their own. Anyway, I tend to use an eyebrow pencil because I have eyebrows. I try and keep them trimmed, but I don't dare make them too trimmed because I don't want to sort of show too much of my femme self when I'm out and about as him, which is what it is now all the time, really. More him than her. Anywho, I put some of that on, but I try not to make it too thick because I don't want too thick eyebrows. And then I will use some white underneath to try and just line out a little bit. Now, this is not what I've changed. I've actually changed is give my foundation a rub over after I put it on. Rub. Gentle rubby dubby doppy woppy thing over. This I've kept and I'm keeping. Now what I'm actually experimenting with today, having looked at my pictures and thought about these things a little bit as a girl does, is, oh dear, I did it again, didn't I? I really should have got this out to start off with, otherwise I've got to dig and dig and dig and try and find what I want. And that's all my stuff, which a lot of which I don't even use. I have tended to fill in below my eyes with eyeshadow. I think possibly it's a bit over dramatic. So what I'm going to try today is I'm going to grab this and just a dot on my lids and maybe just very slightly above. Anyway, yesterday, later in the day, after hospital, which was done fairly early as such, came home, fiddled about a bit, had to go out, had to go down the co-op, down the town there. I saw an unusual sight there. She was a woman wearing makeup. And she was striking because she had winged eyeliner and very long lashes. She was probably natural, I would think. But yeah, she didn't look too bad actually. She didn't look as doll-like as that Eastern European woman I saw at the hospital. Anyhow, I'm sort of saying that stuff to say that when I'm out and about as him, and I always hope that it doesn't disturb any ladies if I happen to notice, I am paying attention to how women are. Yeah? Because otherwise how are you going to blend in? And ultimately ultimately, this has been my aim for such a long time, and I just can't do it yet. For reasons of living in a small town and lots of family clothes and blah 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 blah, and having bugger all money. Excuse the slight swear word, I don't generally swear much. Not being exactly well off, in which case I can't afford to go tranny lodging or anything like that, because I just haven't got money to spare. What I have has to go on paying bills, buying new clothes as cheap as possible when I can, because I can't resist my clothes and shoes, and generally, you know, day-to-day stuff. I haven't got enough spare to pay to go and stay somewhere and go out in a neutral place. Oh, by the way, what I didn't mention was all cheapy stuff off eBay. That's actually in a set that I've got a long time ago, or whatever. But I tend to use branded eyeshadows because I found they're so much better. Rimmel actually is my favourite one, because it's sort of reasonable sort of price, but it works well for me, of course. Well, not everybody, for me. Anyway, next stage, which I think it's actually better. We'll see when I take pictures later, because I always take close-ups so I can see better what I look like. Because looking in the mirror, sometimes you can fool yourself. Anywho, don't make any eye. Put so much stuff in here sometimes it's hard to get out. Here we go. Right. Quite some time ago, instead of using powder blushes and stuff, I started using pale lipsticks. Partly because I picked a tip up from, I think it was online, I'm pretty sure it was online, about older women especially, which I sort of class myself as being not quite 60 yet, but getting there. Anyway, but it was a good thing to use lipstick as a blusher, because it came out better, and I tried it and I liked it, so that's what I do. Also, I don't really use pale lipsticks, and because often it's cheaper, I tend to get things going on outside, I can't help looking. Sets, and quite often the set has a pale lipstick in, which I don't use, so why not? We'll use it for blushing. Oh. So, try not to go too mad, but I want to get enough on, so I put some on and go and try and get it how I think it looks nice. I'll try a bit of the other side as well. Right, even being sunny morning, got quite the best light here, because most of the light is on this side, obviously from the window. But you see, if I put my little light on there, I'd have to have the curtains closed and the big light on, and that doesn't quite work out so right either. So if I have to make up in the evening, which I don't often, if I did I would use those. If I make up on a really dark day, I will use those, but when there's daylight I try and use that. Apart from the fact, of course, daylight is free. Cheapy girl. Probably ought to call this video Cheapy Girl, shouldn't I? Yeah. Well, okay. So, we've done some blushery stuff. Oh, and by the way, if the question is, do I usually wear a wig when I'm doing my makeup? Yes, I do, because I get a better effect that way. I think I'm getting a better idea of how I look. This is sort of like an old wig that's kind of tied and doesn't stay on very well. But it works well for doing makeup because you can see how you look. Boom. Now, like I said, don't use pale lipsticks. Use dark ones. Sort of darkish pinks. That's right on the edge. That is actually reds. Stuff like that. Which I have loads because I've got a couple of sets recently, but I'm still working through the old stuff because I hate to waste things. Not having a lot of spare, like I keep saying. Sorry, repeating that. Anyhow, so oops, let me think. Now, I try not to go too mad with my lips, because I found if I try to make them look too big, they just go smudgy and horrible. So I'll try and do the best I can with the lower lip first. So no man you wouldn't agree with this. They would say you start the upper, or you put liner on first, or whatever. This is how I do it. And just lately it's been staying on pretty well. On the Sunday gone, I was dressed in front of my son's girlfriend for the first time. He's seen me loads of times. Not all the time, because I don't go around like it all the time. I don't like to overdo. As much as I'd love to be dressed like this more often, and wearing makeup and stuff more often, I try not to overdo it, because I don't want him thinking, well, he probably would, but I'm trying to sort of become mum, because he has a mum and he loves his mum. I didn't see much of her lately, but I tend to prefer to dress on my own. But like I said, his girlfriend saw me for the first time on Sunday, and just beyond the more modern mum sort of looky thing, I can say I don't know what replaces mum, but you know, that sort of look, more modern middle-aged woman. I didn't wear a skirt or a dress. I wore leggings and a long tunic top, which is in other videos, pictures, blah 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 blah. So you've seen that. She's coming again this weekend. Now, when they're away, when he's with her at her student place in Norwich, then I will usually, quite often these days, dress, I've got to sharpen my pencil now, dress on a Saturday afternoon stroke evening, having done what I need to do as him during the morning and early afternoon probably. But when she's here, oh, we can look at that. It broke. Never mind. We'll try again. When she's here, last time I did, and it's what I sort of intend to do for future reference. I will most likely do as I did last weekend, not dress on the Saturday, just dress on the Sunday. Because on the Sunday I cook Sunday dinner, and I do love cooking Sunday dinner dressed. It's something that other people may not realise is such a pleasure, others may not think it is, but I take my pleasures where I can, and I enjoy what I want to enjoy. Oh dear, what's happened to this? I think we've been short-changed. I think they cheated on us. We think there ain't no innards in this beyond what I just used. No, we'll give up on that one then. It's dead. Never mind. Cheap stuff. This happens sometimes. Somewhere here I should have another one. Here we go. I have another one because some time ago this was, obviously before the breakup, divorce and all that kind of stuff. In the sales there was this makeup set that was really cheap. It had lipsticks, it had eyeliners, it had loads of stuff. And many of those things my ex, she who was my wife, doesn't really use. I think she owns like I don't know, 2 lipsticks maybe at most, an eyeliner, a little bit of eyeshadow maybe, not a lot. I have lots more of everything femme than she has, including well, not necessarily underwear, but things like slips. She has 1 or 2 last I know of, and I have loads. She definitely doesn't wear girdles or stockings or tights even, except very occasionally. Yeah, so you may be forgiven for thinking that part of the reason we split up was because she got fed up with I think her husband, he was more feminine than she was. I don't know. She gave all sorts of reasons for it. Anyway, lip liner. There again, I try not to go too big, but just to sort of bring them out a bit. That's what I'm trying to do. I think usually it works quite well. I think I've got it right today. I haven't gone too far. So what I often do now as well, which is something I haven't done for very long actually, is I tend to give them another dab and then put another little layer on, because it seems to make it last longer. Not a lot left of this one, you see, but believe me. Mariana likes to get her money's worth. Oh yes, that she does. So, yeah, that's it, innit? I'm done. I'm ready to face my day, at least until about whenever it is I go back to being him again. So for a few hours, here I am. I've got my paint on, slight difference on my eyes, and actually I think it does work. I think it does work, but we'll see. We'll see. In a lot of ways it's all practice. It's all practice for one day, and I'm going to be like this a lot more of the time. Anyhow, done. I was going to talk about other stuff actually, but of course you start talking about makeup and you just can't help yourself. You just go on and on about it. What a girl. Yeah, whoops. Okay. Perhaps I'll talk about the other stuff later, as a separate one. Like when I'm brushing my hair when I finish, like I did once before. We'll see, or another day, or whatever. Enough for now. I've probably put a few people to sleep, and I'm going to finish getting dressed and going on, because I need to talk at some stage also to my friend Sue on the phone, because we talk sometimes like girls do, just for a little bit, and it's always quite fun, and at least means even though I'm alone in the house, I'm not exactly totally alone in the world and sitting here talking to a camera. Bye all.